Hey everyone, and welcome. So, most of us think of Martin Luther King Jr. Day as, a day off from school or work, a moment to reflect on this incredible figure in American history. But the real story behind this holiday, it's filled with some pretty surprising twists, a massive 15-year fight, and a purpose that makes it totally unique. Okay, let's dive right in. So, let's just start with this one big question. Is this holiday really meant to be a day off? Or is it supposed to be a day on? I think the answer is going to change how you see it forever. Let's explore what that actually means. All right, here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to get into the incredible 15-year battle it took just to get this holiday on the calendar. Then we'll uncover its true purpose. After that, we'll follow the kind of winding road to its adoption in all 50 states. And finally, we'll explore the really powerful symbols that honor Dr. King's legacy. Okay. First up, the fight to make this holiday a reality. And believe me, this was not easy. It was a long, hard-fought battle for recognition that literally went on for more than a decade. Just look at this timeline. A bill to create the holiday? It was introduced in 1968, just 4 days after Dr. King was assassinated. But it took all the way until 1983 for it to finally be signed into law. And even then, it wasn't nationally observed until 1986. That is a 15-year gap. So what on earth was going on in between? Well, a big part of the answer comes from a pretty unexpected place. The one and only Stevie Wonder. He became this absolutely crucial voice in the movement. In 1980, he released his hit song Happy Birthday. But here's the thing. It wasn't for a person. It was a brilliant, powerful rallying cry designed to lobby for the holiday and get the public on board. A pop song with a serious political mission. How cool is that? Now, that whole fight for recognition ties directly into what this holiday is really all about. See, this was never just about getting another 3-day weekend. Not at all. Congress had something much bigger, much more significant in mind. And this right here is the key. MLK Day is the only federal holiday that's also designated as a National Day of Service. It's a call to action. The whole idea isn't to be off from work, but to be on for our communities, to get out there, volunteer, and take part in projects that honor Dr. King's incredible legacy of service. So you'd think once it became a federal holiday in 1983, the story would be over, right? Nope. The journey to get all 50 states to actually recognize it was surprisingly long and, well, pretty messy. Get this. It took until the year 2000 for every single state to get on board. South Carolina was the very last state to officially recognize Martin Luther King Jr. Day as a paid holiday for all its state employees. That's 17 years after it was signed into federal law. Just wild. And just to give you an idea of how this all evolved, some states were really hesitant and even tried to combine the holiday. For years, the state of Virginia actually celebrated something called Lee Jackson King Day, honoring two Confederate generals, Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson, right alongside Dr. King. It wasn't until that same year, 2000, that those holidays were finally separated. Okay, so finally, let's talk about the powerful symbols of Dr. King's legacy that are still with us today, from his place on the national calendar to the monuments and words that continue to inspire us all. To really put his impact into perspective, just think about this. Dr. King is one of only 3 individuals with a U.S. federal holiday named in their honor. The other 2? George Washington and Christopher Columbus. He's the only non-president in the modern era to get that kind of recognition. That's huge. His memorial in Washington, D.C. is just packed with symbolism. Even the address, it's 1964 Independence Avenue, a direct nod to the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The design itself is based on this very quote from his I Have a Dream speech, where his statue, the Stone of Hope, looks like it's emerging from the Mountain of Despair. And speaking of that incredible speech, you know the most famous part of it? The whole I Have a Dream section? It was never supposed to happen. It wasn't in his script. During the March on Washington, his good friend, the legendary gospel singer Mahalia Jackson, actually shouted from the crowd, "Tell them about the dream, Martin." He heard her, he pushed his prepared notes to the side, and he improvised that entire iconic section on the spot. It's just an unbelievable moment that completely changed history. And that brings us right back to where we started. This holiday is so much more than just a date on a calendar. It's really a question. It asks us to think about a legacy that was built on service, on justice, and on community. So the real question this holiday leaves us with is this: how will you answer that call?